Hi there, welcome to this video. I want to talk about two questions that can always get you back into your intuitive insights that help you take action without forcing manifestation. So, I know manifestation rituals are everywhere, and everyone's talking about how you can manifest this and manifest that. And quite frankly, they work. They absolutely work. But you have to get in alignment to get into a ritual. And that's really the intention of a ritual is that you're getting your mind very clear so that you can set your gaze on something and get into that focus. But if you're specifically trying in getting into a manifestation ritual, you can also get out of that manifestation ritual. Once the ritual is done, you can fall out of alignment. And that might be why something doesn't quite manifest because you're no longer in that alignment. So, my proposal to you is that if there are two questions that can always breed the right type of intuition, you never really have to do a manifestation ritual. You're really just tapping into your intuitive guidance that's always going to lead you in the right direction. And you're always going to magnetize what is it that you want? What is it that you desire? Things that are either going to come towards you or that you're going to take action on. And so we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that. There are two questions. And the first question that we'll get into is question number one: why do I desire this? So it's not enough for us just to want something and want to desire something. We really want to understand the reason behind why we desire something. We really want to understand what it is about that desire. So, for example, money is a pretty common thing that most people desire, if not everyone, because obviously we need it to survive. We need it to build the life that we want. We also might want it to build security and freedom. When we start looking at it in that regards and seeing the lifestyle we want around it and what it can offer us, then we're actually getting to the heart of the desire. And it's really that we want to pull towards us and not necessarily the money. The money is just a vehicle to get there. So when we focus on that lifestyle, it could happen in a lot of ways. We let go of the outcome and we're more likely to get it because we're looking at it in a different way. And we're letting our intuition guide us towards that lifestyle of what we want than trying to be specific on something that we don't really understand. If it's especially if it's at a surface level, that when we look at these questions, we also want to I want to leverage this as some guidance as well. So, this is just one question to ask yourself: why do I desire this? But you may find that in your why and understanding and digging on your why, you're going to want to tweak it to maybe your own situation. I do want to give a disclaimer that when you're thinking about your why question, why do I want this? Why do I desire this? Why is this for me? Why do I want to bring this in my life? We also want to not ask questions like, why hasn't this happened yet? Why did this happen to me? Even why am I here? But in those sort of sense, in those questions, when we ask, why hasn't this happened yet? Or when we turn it into a negative, we're putting ourselves into a vicious cycle and we're getting into that victim mentality. So we really want to be mindful about what it is and how we're posing that question so that we stay in alignment with our highest good and we're focusing on what's for our highest good, not the woe is me victim mentality. The other question of why I'm here, it's a wonderful question. It is a philosophical question that we all have or should ask ourselves at some point, but it's a spiral. It can kind of take us on this spiral loop that's never ending. You're here for a purpose, in my reason. And the purpose is, which we'll get into another video, wait for that one. But the purpose is that you are here to express yourself and to be of service to the world. And as a creative director, energy healer, it took me a really long time to rewire my own mindset, shift my own narrative, and get into the heart of my own emotions to understand my behaviors and start living a life where I'm asking myself the right questions. I'm understanding the intentions behind my behavior so that I know why I'm pulling things into my life. Why are things reflecting to me into my life that make the most sense? And so I can follow the intuitive guidance, or I'd get the intuitive guidance, but not know how to follow it. And so that's usually where the hiccup is, where that leads us to our Question number two, how can I move towards it? And so here's where we really can tap into our intuition. Here's where we're starting to listen to our guidance because we do understand our true desire, our true nature of not that we always have to want something, but there's a sense of, I want a fulfilling life. I want to create something of purpose and meaning. So whether I need to, be somehow in this world, what does that look like? How can I bring that towards me? How can I go towards it? This is the purpose of this how question. How can I go? This is like a horizontal question. How can I move forward? Because we're always taking steps, even in rest, believe it or not. And this is where we get into the most trouble because we've heard the guidance, but we hesitate and are resistant to take the action that it is that we want because we get tangled in our logical mind. And a lot of times with intuition, it's not going to be logical. And not that it's dangerous. If you're getting intuitive guidance that is telling you to do something you shouldn't do, or do something that feels off or dangerous, I don't think that's intuitive guidance. I think that might be something else. To be cautious. And this is really about getting that intuitive guidance where you can tell it's from your highest good. You're getting something that's of a higher frequency, it's a lighter voice, and it's giving you maybe not the most logical steps, but there's nothing inherently dangerous with it. So just want to caveat that for just a bit. So something could be like you might think you have to turn left, but your intuition is telling you to turn right. And your logical mind might get in the way and rationalize that no, 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 we always go left. This is the way we need to go. But something one day says, take a right. And it's really understanding how to listen to that guidance and follow through. And these are small things. When we're in a great space and we're connected, it's really easy to have our intuitive guidance work with us and we're flowing. It's those parts that I wanted to focus on of like these two questions to help us when we feel stuck, when we feel blocked, and we want to get out of that so that we can move effortlessly and we can take the actions that we want to take, even if they're baby steps, right? And this is where the conflict stirs up inside of us. And we're building that muscle to trust the intuition that we're hearing so that we're taking action and we get more intuitive guidance. So, another caveat to this question, when you're looking at your how and how you can move forward, I think it's also really important to understand your why, because if you jump to the how too quickly, just a level of caution, uh, you might take impulsive actions. And in some regards, that could be really fun. That could be something that leads you into some fun, chaotic experiences. And every lesson is a lesson well learned. So it's up to you to decide. But over time, you might want to just really understand how you're making your moves so that the repercussions are small. But then again, sometimes you can be led by your intuition and feel like it wasn't going in the right direction. And we can talk about that as well in another video. But I think it's just really important to start building that honest relationship with ourselves and knowing how to listen to that. And it's not only that you listening to it, because I think everyone knows how to listen. I think everyone can hear that guidance. It's just how you take action on it. And if you really can't hear that guidance, there might be some other things to do to clear out. But let me know in the comments below if that's something you want to hear or want to talk about and how we can start opening up that channel to listen. And so, as we listen and as we're learning and we're understanding our true intentions and desires, we're starting to see what the cycles of our nature are. And when we listen, we'll know this is a time to be receptive. This is a time to sit and be still and absorb, understand our energy, understand how we balance. And then there's a time to take action. Everyone's going to be different. And so, this is where you become the master of yourself, knowing where your intuitive guidance is telling you to go and at what point in time that you need to move. So just a note of guidance on how to take the directions, how to take these two questions and play with them and start opening up that conversation with your higher self and getting that right intuitive guidance that you need. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. So let me know in the comments below if there's any insights that you had, any other questions that you want to talk about. And I'll see you later.